This is just my default dashboard that's in the system. It's a supplier analysis. This is an embedded Power BI dashboard here. I have a number of different dashboards available to me in the system, but right now I'm in the field service application. For those of you who have seen demos in the past, whether that was from Stone Ridge, from me, or somebody else, just know that we've got access to the broader ecosystem. We've got all of our Office apps and Microsoft apps that we're licensed for in the very top left. But this field service app, I have access to a lot in the system here. We have customer service, project service, sales. We're living all of what we're doing today is right in this field service application. So my home screen is a dashboard, but on the left-hand side here, you're going to see I'm living in the service area. So we do have a sales area and inventory management, resources, settings, and training. I'm living in service right now. So when I talk about that case to work order, so this is really that scenario where when we're ingesting an issue, somebody needs something, there's a break fix occurrence, or somebody's requesting a service or a product, or something along those lines. This is where we have our case to work order process. Work orders are really the hub. Work orders are the backbone of everything that we're going to be doing in field service. But oftentimes we, further down on the left-hand side here on the sitemap, if I go to cases, this is where we have, there are a couple of requests here. The very top one, we have field equipment outage. So this is, something is maybe operating out in the field, or maybe a customer has some leased equipment or purchased equipment from us that's a part of their, their production line, and there was an outage. There's something down. It's critical. This is where we can start that process. So when we field that information, when we feel, hey, this is something that we need to spin up an on-site engagement for, just some information here. On the left-hand side, we've got general case details and some high-level information. Because this is a production issue, I'm actually going to set that priority to high, because this is impacting our production line. So I'll set that to high and quick save it here. But here we have our general information of the case. Now, I'm not going to break down cases in Dynamics 365 today, at a very detailed level. Just know that, generally speaking, for field service, this is the main intake level, the main intake record type. So, we'll field those requests, and from here, and you can see the visual process flow up top. We have our summary information. We have all of these relationships and SLA and contract information for our customer, and a lot of this is set by default right off the bat. And then we've got this visual process flow at the top. So we start by identifying the issue. We then move on to research, and this is really where the meat of the, hey, we need a work order process begins. So as a customer service representative for your organization, I can say, okay, you know what, we need to actually determine, or we need to kick up a work order from this level here. And right out of the box, we can actually go to convert to work order. So when we do that, it's going to take a lot of this default information, a lot of customer information. We can see recent cases and some contact info here, but it will port it over to the work order. So I can go convert to work order, click OK here. It'll take a second to think, and then we're going to get a new window when this is all said and done, or or it'll prompt us, would you like to open this up in a new window? So when I do that, this is that work order from case. So to walk through the process so far, somebody called in, there's an issue, there's something on the production line down that's out in the field, that's our product they purchased or leased. Our customer service representative fielded that request or that issue, did some research, moved through the visual process, understood that we need to generate a work order and we need to start booking this for service. And when I create a work order from the case, you can see that a lot of data comes in automatically. So if I'm a dispatcher, or if I'm now, we're moving to getting this work order set and booking the resource, this is where we can go in and validate a few points. And we have that same visual flow at the top. So where we saw the case work stream visually represented a minute ago, this is where we can see the work order process visualized at the top of the record. So if I click into work order here, we, making sure we set our service and billing accounts, making sure that we have our incident type set. So this is replacing a broken part as our primary incident type. And we've got a number number in here. We've got installation, power fluctuation, issues, standard inspections, but we're replacing a broken part. Priority, this is where we can set critical, low, normal, and this is all customizable. So we can customize this and tailor this to how your organization, speaks about or talks about or categorizes the priorities of your on-site engagements. We're going to say that this is critical. This also plays into color coding when we take a look at our visual schedule board, and then our work order type. So this is install or replace. It's a replacement. But what's nice is we've got this structured process in the system to be able to, inform us on the steps that we need to take as either a customer service rep or a dispatcher that we need to make sure that we're on top of as we go through this process. So I'll kick it down to the next stage. We need to schedule the work order. It says open, it's unscheduled, and I'm going to say that this is ready for dispatch. So we've got all these sub statuses that we can set in here as well. I'll save this quick. Couple of things to note. A lot of this came from the case itself. So we have the service account. So who is that customer that we're working with? A number of other data points that were in that process we just took a look at. Further down, we've got work hour templates. So if certain techs or certain teams operate on certain hours and schedules, we can open this up and configure this and customize this. Further down, we do have sales tax. We can put tax codes and territories into the system to be able to manage that. And then below that, here's our primary incident type. We can even, if customers have assets that we're tracking, we can even go in and designate the specific customer asset that we're working with here in the system. And then further down here are all of our, estimates and totals once we have this off the ground. But I'll save this quick. Further down, we've got this, and this is where we're talking about the work order anatomy. Here's the general information that we just spoke through, or kind of walked and talked through. But if I go to settings, this is where we can set. This really plays into the scheduling. So in the middle here, we have our preferences section, and we can see time from promised and time to promised. So this is where we're going to box in how we can schedule our service technicians or our field technicians. So let's say that we are promising from 11 a.m. today until, I don't know, maybe 3:30 p.m. That sounds like a decent window. These two are going to inform the system on when we can drag and we're going to see in the graphic scheduler in a minute when we can drag and drop these work orders. So this will come back up in a few minutes when we get to that piece. But just know that the promised windows, the from and to promised windows, play a big part in scheduling. We can tack on products if there are specific products we need that are actually transaction, they're purchased. We need to bring them for the job. We can designate those here. Services. This is where we are going to actually realize the discrete services being provided. Here we have service tasks. So these are the discrete tasks based on the incident type that a tech would need to perform, and we can standardize the estimated durations. Keep in mind this is all configurable. So if you don't have all of your if you're replacing a servo or you're doing some software upgrades or anything like that, if you don't have a tried and true standardized model for these tasks, that's fine. We can get a little bit more vague with them, but in this use case, we actually have things pretty well locked into how long these discrete tasks are going to take. And then further down, we've got our geo information. So where is this job, having an address for that, and then location. We actually have that visualized in the system, so it is plugging into a Bing Maps integration. If I hit Geocode at the very top of this record here, this is where we can actually call a service and it provides us suggestions. We can designate where this is going to be and the proper address from the service that we're using. Click OK, and once that's set, we'll then have it visualized. So that's available right on the record itself. And then we've got a lot of related information that's in here too. So that's the nuts and bolts of the work order itself, and all the pieces that play into it.